Morgan is in Denver. Hey, Morgan, how are you?
It's an honor to chat with you. Thanks for taking my time.
My pleasure. How can we help?
So I'm the CEO of a Denver-based service-based business here called Your Whole Meal. It's a personal chef company. Our revenue is about $450K a year gross with 17 members. And here's my question. So I keep hiring, doing sales, building the book of business, and then the team member does stupid math, as you call it, takes the book, does their own thing. So I'm basically building my competition. My family truly jokes that I'm a serial entrepreneur because I've basically started 5 personal chef gigs in our 8 years. So rather than just solving the symptoms, right, it's so much bigger than that. So basically I was trying to get your experience during like what you call the treadmill phase, right? Mm-hmm. And I know I'm not alone. There's cleaning companies, for example, they go through the same thing. So how do I build a business without just building my competition and just doing it and keeping the rat on the wheel, as they say?
Well, there's 2 elements that we need to separate. The non-compete is going away in federal law. Okay, regulations are coming down on that. All right, and so you're not going to be able to keep you're not going to be able to have someone sign a non-compete, but they can sign a contract that they state in the contract that the customers that you are sending them to are owned by you.
Yep.
And to do business with that customer is not a non-compete issue. That's stealing my customer. That's different than non-compete. Okay? For instance, in the investment world, if you go to a SmartVestor Pro that we recommend people to do investments, those guys, gals build a book of business, and they'll have sometimes a junior staffer working with Joe Smith, helping them do their investing, but that junior staffer does not own that client. The owner of the business owns that client. That's a book of business, and that book of business actually has a market value, and when someone gets ready to retire in that world, they'll sell that book of business for bazillions of dollars. But you can't just be a junior on the flagpole and run out and take those people you've been working with that your boss gave you to work. That's illegal in that world, okay? And it'll get you sued. And you can set that up here as well, okay? And so we have business coaches in EntreLeadership, and those EntreLeadership clients are mine. They're not theirs. I own those clients. And if they come back and try to steal those clients after they leave to go be a business coach on their own, what you're describing, I will put them out of business, okay? And because it's stealing. It's not because I'm vindictive. It's stealing. I paid the money. I did the marketing to create that client. They didn't. They merely coached them. Your person didn't do anything except cook. That's all they did. They didn't run the business. They didn't come up with a client base. And so it's not their customer. And you can contractually, in any state, except possibly California where you can't do anything, but you can contractually in Colorado, keep them from stealing your customer as a part of their employment agreement. And if they do, you can shut them down with a lawsuit, and I would. That tough. And make that part of the hiring understanding. Be very, very clear when you're hiring them. This is my customer, you the chef, me the owner. You cook, I do business. You work for me. This is my customer, not yours. I don't care if they like you. As a matter of fact, it's good that they like you. That's part of your job. You're in their freaking home. So, but that doesn't mean you own them. I own the customer. And you're gonna have to talk about that apparently very directly and very clearly, because stealing customers in your world seems to be a regular event. Right?
Yes. It is. And we're doing the non-solicitation because we learned the hard way. So
Yeah.
But no, it's super common. Yeah. It happens to all sorts of everyone.
Yeah, it does. But I'm going to be the one that doesn't allow it if I'm you.
Yeah.
And that's part of the onboarding when I hire a chef. You need to be real. I need to be real clear with you. I'm going to be good to you. I'm going to pay you. But if you take one of my customers, I'm going to grind you to powder. Okay? You need to, I'm going to be real tough in the onboarding. This is not happening. Okay? And, so yeah, you've got, because I'm not going to pick a fight. I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm trying to avoid one by heading it off at the pass. So yeah, I'm going to do that in the onboarding, and I'm going to do that if I smell a rat, because these people, they're in their homes, they're artists, they're chefs, everybody loves them, and we feel like we're going steady, and so I can just quit Morgan and I'll go take her customers. No, I'm not going to allow that. So anyway, that's one thing you can do. And obviously, I've dealt with that, and I will deal with it again, I'm afraid, because it doesn't matter how much you deal with it. Somebody gets confused, and you have to explain it to them again. And so, is that the whole thing? You just got to block that out so that you can build a good book of business and let your business thrive?
Honestly, I think that's a symptom, whether it's a symptom of hiring, right? And I didn't weed that little detail out, though I tried, right? Or if it's more of a symptom of, we have a really good profit margin, as we should, right? Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know if it's that, or if it's, even though I truly love my team, something's missing. I don't know.
Well, you're going to have people leave. You can't stop that. People leave for all kinds of reasons. They leave because they want to go in business. And the restaurant business in general has high turnover.
Yes,
so
3 months average
is the nature of the business. I've got a friend that owns about 60 restaurants. He said the national average is 328% a year. That means you replace everyone 3 times. That would drive me bananas. But he said that's the norm. He's got his down to 120. He only loses them all once a year. I can't even imagine. Mine's probably 6% or 8% here. I couldn't imagine 125% turnover ratio. So you're in a high turnover industry in its nature, and any businesses out there listening to you and me have this conversation, you're going to have people leave. You're going to have people leave that you don't want to leave, and they leave with integrity and don't steal your customers and go do something else. And they could open up their own chef thing and don't steal your customers. They can do that, but that doesn't harm you because they're getting business that wasn't yours. There's plenty of people out there, plenty of houses you can cook in Denver. So if one guy goes up and he starts cooking in 10 houses, that doesn't hurt your business as long as he didn't take yours. They're going to do that because it's the nature of the food world right now to be a celebrity chef, right?
Yes and no, and I love the competition. We had to get far better over the 8 years. I could be half the business owner I was before COVID.
Yeah.
So no, I love the competition. I'm good with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't accusing you of that. I'm just saying that I'm people that have been here 20 years and, something happens, they get married, and a single lady gets married and her husband decides he wants to take a job in Oklahoma. Well, I lost a 20-year person when that happens, there's not anything I can do. That's just part of life. You're going to have some people that leave that you really didn't want to leave, and there's no magic pill to keep them. But I think the more frustrating thing about your story for me is, and I went off on the soapbox, but is the stealing of customers. And like you said, you have to start over every time they take your whole book, and I'm not going to do that. I got such a low tolerance for thieves that, people trying to steal money. It's ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, but I think also you've got that combined with just the high turnover nature of the food preparation world, the restaurant world, that it's unusual for a chef to go somewhere and stay 20 years. It's very unusual in that world. Because things change and people go open a different restaurant and they go do something else and they move around. It's just kind of, there's a vibe to that. So I think you're going to fight some of that, just the very nature. And I don't think you can do anything about it other than treat your people well, do the stuff that you're talking about. So I think you're doing a great job. I think you're probably doing a better job than it feels to you like you're doing.